Hi guys, I'm a huge fan of Carol Vorderman, so it was great to see her appear on the Trawl podcast. So she had some interesting things to say about the Conservatives and about GB News. Now, Carol is of the idea that the Tories could end up with just 70 seats at the next general election, if you take into account their current faring, but also when tactical voting is factored in. Now, if the Tories go, GB News will go along with them. Do you think she's right?
Okay, here's my prediction.
Yeah.
I reckon, because GB News, as far as I understand, isn't making any money. And so people are shoveling money into it. When the Tories are decimated at the general election, I'm so there for it. Obviously, through Stop the Tories, Stop Vote, there's a practical application with tactical voting. I think we can get them down to 70 seats or less. In other words, absolutely destroy them together, everybody. And then, what's the purpose of GB News? It has no purpose. Who's going to carry on shoveling money into it? I predict that within 18 months, it will close down.
Really interesting. Now, she mentioned two things here, of course, the Conservatives and GB News. Now, when it comes to the Conservatives, I think there's a real chance that they're going to be completely destroyed at the next general election. Now, whether they'll end up with 70 seats depends on a number of factors. It depends on how well Labour do. Are they going to put their foot in their mouth once again? Is Rishi Sunak going to be able to turn things around somewhat? Will Rishi Sunak be replaced? I think there are a number of different factors at play here, but it's looking more and more likely that the Conservatives will end up with very few seats. Now, I don't know about 70. I think it'll be well over 100, but anything less than a majority is good news. Now, when it comes to GB News, I disagree with Carol Vorderman here, because I think GB News serves a certain purpose. It's about feeding a narrative to racist bigots and the far right in society that they are the victim. And GB News is very good at doing that, talking about the silent majority, talking about conservative values. And this is a vehicle to push society further and further to the right. Now, the goal obviously is about economic conservatism. It's about moving the country to the right economically, in order to cut taxes for the rich, to remove regulations, to allow corrupt companies to operate in an easier way. Cutting regulations, cutting protections for workers, for the environment, for quality of standards, things like this. So this is their goal. But in order to achieve that, they need to move society along with them. And in order to do that, they need things like culture wars, they need things like woke, they need all sorts of issues that will drive the public crazy. So we saw it on a number of occasions with whether it's about the environment, about net zero, whatever. You're going to hear more and more of this from the likes of GB News. So I don't think GB News will go away. It may actually become more popular because there will be the Labour Party that they will be pretending to hold to account. And they will, of course, platform maybe not so much Tories, but maybe UKIP or Reform UK candidates for public office. I think this will be their focus. It will be about how the country is going in the wrong direction, it's moving too much to the left, and it needs to move back to the centre. They will describe it as the centre, but of course they're talking about moving it further and further to the right. Of course, their goal is economic. It's about cutting taxes for the rich and removing regulations. But in order to achieve that, they need to convince the public that Britain is going in the wrong direction. But let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.